This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the Equalizer 3 plus reactions to trailers for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, The Boys spinoff Gen V, and The Creator, and quick reviews of One Piece on Netflix, Ashoka, and a Walking Dead spinoff that's actually kind of good.
What?
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, September 18th, 2023.
You know who this is, and you know why you're here. You want all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news, and by God, you found it. Forget everything else out there. Forget all the Scientology bullshit. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. Worship at the feet of the holy trio of geekdom, the Jock and Nerd podcast. Play it.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talking, we nerding. We funny, disturbing. We talking, we nerding. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hey, hello, listener. What's up? Thanks for joining us, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
Joining us, a distant cousin of Black Manta, goes by the name Orange Fanta, but we call him Rug Boy. How's it going, Rugs?
Like to drink.
He's bubbly and effervescent and full of artificial flavor.
Don't you wanna?
Oh my god.
Remember the Fanta? Do they still make Fanta? Oh, top notch.
I think they do.
Orange. I think so. Shasta.
Don't you want Fanta?
Fanta and Shasta, they should have like a rematch.
Yes.
And like
It's time,
see who comes out on top.
time for the Cola Wars to start again. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Throw Inca Cola in there for my
Inca.
friends.
Let me get some pure cane sugar Coca-Cola, old school. I'll tell you what, though, I'm a little bit addicted to Coke Zero. I'll tell you why. It tastes just like Coke, but it's all zero. I don't know how it's possible. It tastes better than Diet
Imran,
Coke.
you're making a deal with the devil.
And I'm like,
You can't
fucking
get like
Coke Zero is not
sugar
bad.
without sugar.
There's no
Like,
sugar.
There's some
Is it-
kind of
I don't know what's in there.
it's some kind of fucking shit that's gonna give your fucking ass cancer. or
Probably.
something.
But it tastes just like Coca-Cola. And I'm like, oh, Coke Zero's got everything. I just think it's,
How often would you say you're drinking a can of Coke?
well,
I think we know why Imran.
I may be up to like
Has
one
problems.
12-ounce bottle, maybe like one every day or every other day.
Oh wow.
Just
Bottle
one.
a day?
No,
12
yeah,
ounce
it's like a
bottle.
12 ounce.
12 ounce.
Yeah, it's not, like the little ones. I don't buy the big one. And I don't bring it out. I just buy the one bottle. I just need
Is 12
one.
ounces like what you get out of like a machine?
24 ounce. No, maybe it's a 24 ounce. Like the bottle,
Oh.
Oh.
I just need one. I need that hit. I need that tasty cola hit. Just a little bit. But it's funny because like kids don't want to buy anything called Diet. So they just rebranded and made it Coke Zero. I don't know.
If we have
Why
anybody
don't they
with
buy
medical
Diet?
knowledge
I don't know.
in our fan base, let Imran know what he's doing is terrible.
I need a scientist to tell me how can they make it taste the same and it's zero on the nutrition label. This is some fucking horse shit.
The only times I ever drink Coke either is when I'm drinking in general.
Right.
Like with like a rum and Coke or a whiskey Coke or something like that. But that's only like on the weekends occasionally, or I might treat myself once in a while to a Coke or two.
No,
But,
dude.
yeah, I don't really ever drink
Just
Coke.
the Coke Zero. It's a hot label. It's red. It's black lettering.
You notice us Midwesterners say Coke. No one else says that.
Well, we call everything Coke.
Us
Yeah.
Chicago
Yeah.
people call it Coke.
I'm
'Cause it's-
actually talking about Coca-Cola brand, but yeah, you call
Right.
everything Coke instead of pop or soda.
but it's pop elsewhere in the Midwest, and they think it's soda everywhere else.
No Coke, Pepsi. No
What do you
Coke.
call it, Rugs?
What? Coca-Cola?
Yeah, do you call it soda, pop, or Coke?
Like if I'm drinking Coke, it's Coke.
Got it.
And if it's soda, like if
What
it's
if it's
not
like
Coke,
Pepsi?
it's Coke. Yeah, I'll call it like Pepsi. Yeah, I call it by the label.
Label. All right.
I don't give a shit though. Like if they're like, I'll order a Coke every time. That's my default. So let's say I go, give me a Coke. Like we don't have Coke. You have Pepsi. Like all right, give me that. So like I always default to ordering Coke everywhere I go.
Yeah. So the here in the Midwest it's pop. East Coast it's soda. South it's Coke. But I know in Chicago specifically it's Coke.
I've never said pop. Give me a pop.
No, I've never said pop in my life. I didn't know what pop was. When kids would say pop,
Yeah.
I think they were talking about a popsicle.
Popsicle, yeah. That's it. Anyway, the point is, I'm addicted. Let's start the show. There we go.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
I really need to get checked out. Jesus Christ.
Everybody needs a hobby.
We're all concerned.
What are you gonna, I'm fine. Listen to me. I got my voice back.
The man was sick and still smoking.
The dude lost his voice for like 2.5 weeks.
But it's back. It happens. It's back. I'm good. I'm 100%.
All right.
Don't anybody worry, especially my doctor, which, yes, I don't even know his name. Anyways, what are we doing? Okay, we got some Hollywood strike update. Guess what? They're still on strike.
Oh, shit.
We got to start there. The writers have been on strike now 139 days. Trying to get to that magical 154 to break the record, be number one. Actors on strike 66 days, and largely nothing has happened. Both sides for the last 2 weeks. We're waiting for the other side to do something, to make a proposal or a counter. There is a little bit of movement. They have just agreed today to meet on Wednesday this week. So we'll see what happens. Fucking dragging this out. The big hubbub, though, I don't know if you caught any of this. It was on everywhere on the news. Drew Barrymore has a talk show. She announced
Drew Scabbymore
announcing I'm returning to film my talk show without writers. We won't talk about any promoted struck work, and we won't employ any WG writers or do no writing or whatever. She actually started filming. She got a lot of shit online, of course.
Yeah, what do you think was going to happen?
Well, what's funny is, remember when the strike started, she was supposed to host the MTV Music Video Awards, and she's like, nope, I'm not doing it. Last minute, strike starts. She's like, I'm out. America's sweetheart, turns on everyone. On the one hand, you know, she's got a crew and employees and wants to put some money in their pockets, food on the table.
Right, which this is the weird thing, is that the writers and whoever else is involved in this are affecting other people, not just them.
Right.
So, yeah, they got to think about it at a certain point. Like, other people got to go on with their lives, but at the same time, it's not good optics for Drew Barrymore.
It is not good optics. You know, she is a SAG member, but not a WGA member. And then weird reports. They started filming, and reports of audience members were wearing support WGA pins in the audience.
Yeah, they were trying to troll her.
They threw them out, and then they were checking bags and confiscating any WGA pins. Right. And then a few days later, she puts out this like 4-minute video apologizing, but really sorry, not sorry.
Like, don't do the fake cry in the video either.
Yes,
like,
she pretended to get emotional. And then yesterday, latest update, that video gets deleted. She has changed her mind.
Oh, shit.
Reversed her decision. She's pausing filming.
Yeah, that was the talk. She was crying in that video. Bill Maher did the same thing. After she paved the way of going back, he's like, well, if she's going back, I'm going back.
And a lot of people we expected that from Bill Maher. He's a dick, but he has, the majority of the show is panel discussion and interviews. You don't really, but he is a WGA guild member.
But
also.
He stopped it too, because once
he changed his mind. Yes.
Once Drew Barrymore was getting a lot of heat, he's already getting a lot of shit from a lot of people because he's kind of a douche.
Yeah,
but
it's great. It's fun to watch. But he also said he was coming back when it seemed like nothing was happening, and then he heard that they're going to meet on Wednesday, and he's like, okay, well, we won't come back. There were a couple other. The Talk was going to return. They also paused. There are some daytime talk shows that have returned, but who gives a fuck? It's a fucking talk show. You don't need writers. Just fucking talk bullshit.
Yeah, if you're just bullshitting, you don't have writers. Why are people getting mad if you're just there bullshitting?
I don't know. They're striking, but it's funny that not a lot of the other ones didn't really get shit. Drew got all the shit, so she had a hell of a week. The other thing that happened is Marvel Studios visual effects workers have voted unanimously to join IATSE to unionize. Yahtzee. Hey, it's like Boggle. How do you even play Yahtzee? IATSE. So
this is just Marvel.
It's just 50 people at Marvel, but I feel like it could spread. I don't know if people at ILM or Weta or at DreamWorks, any of these places, if they have any union protection. But there was 18 people at Walt Disney Pictures also voted. So it's a small group, but it's a start.
Like
Small
you
but
wouldn't,
mighty.
you
Yes.
wouldn't need unions if you just fucking did the right thing in the first place.
Yeah, and I mean these people.
Yeah, that's not going to happen though.
No, it's greed operated. These people are even more like you have crew members and you see them. They're on set. The VFX workers, nobody sees them. They're locked in a closet and told to work 18 hours a day with no break and keep working.
With no food or water.
No food, no water. The other thing WJ suggested is that maybe certain studios in the AMPTP could break away and negotiate with them separately because the problem is the tech companies, right? The Apples, the Amazons, they don't give a fuck. This means nothing to them. So they're holding things up, I feel. And they should just maybe even kick them out of the AMPTP or WJ go around, talk to the studios. Because it's weird. Those people in the AMPTP have to agree on things, but they're all competitors at the same time buying for billions of dollars. So I don't know how all that shakes out.
Well, I'm sure they're going to work it out now because once the chips start falling, I think everyone's going to have to start ponying up, lest everyone start unionizing.
And I mean, I think both sides are hurting. Warner Brothers said they're going to lose like $400 to $500 million because of this strike. They canceled numerous overall deals with big names like The Rock and Berlanti and maybe J.J. Abrams. I don't know. They had all these deals with people. They dropped them all. I don't know. It's rough out there. People getting evicted. There's food banks.
I like it.
It's great. Let's beat the record. I want this strike to be number one. Okay, enough with the strike. Here's what I do want to talk about. We got our first trailer for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the Aquaman sequel, the final DCEU movie coming out.
I didn't see Vincent Chase in this one. What
December
happened?
20. Oh, where's Vinny? That's a different Aquaman movie.
Oh, is that James Cameron's Aquaman?
It was kind of not surprising, but we were getting close to we're like 3 months out. They had not dropped fucking hint of anything. So Anthony, let's start there. You watch this trailer. What do we see? There's a lot going on in here. Thoughts?
Yeah, it looks like the basic premise is Black Manta's stronger. He wants to kill Aquaman for what he did in the last movie, and Aquaman has a family,
Yeah.
and needs to partner up with his brother that he was enemies with to take down Black Manta. It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type shit,
It's like
or whatever.
Yeah, it's like Rocky 3.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of
great.
things. I mean,
Yeah, they do a lot. This is a normal thing in a lot.
there's 7 kingdoms. You have Aquaman drying his clothes on a clothesline for some reason. A lot of people mention that. Why is he drying his clothes? If you pause it real quick, you can see there's a quick shot of Amber Heard taking an underwater shit on Aquaman's underwater bed.
Yeah.
But it's great because the shit just floats away. So it's a
Are
lot.
you being serious?
No.
No.
Okay.
There is one shot of Amber Heard. Remember the whole Amber Heard thing? I was like, oh shit, she's still in this.
Well, I thought it was curious that I did see her briefly, but I thought it was curious that they left in the whole kid element thing where he's got a family now, but didn't really feature.
No,
his
I'm like,
family.
wait, who's the mom? Oh, it's got to be
Yeah,
Mira.
Is it Mira?
No, yeah, she's there in the beginning. The wide shot, you see them sitting there with the red hair. It's Mira, but yeah, it's Aqua Daddy. Aquaman's got a baby.
But yeah, I mean, trailer? I think the trailer looks, even though I didn't really think the first Aquaman was that good, I will give it credit in that the movie had an identity and a personality, and that personality was just balls to the walls, insane underwater shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you had an octopus banging the drums. and,
Absolutely.
like,
You remember you had the
you just-
trench? You had all sorts of things in there.
all sorts of crazy visuals and things. So it had personality. And on that note, this trailer also has that similar personality.
Yeah.
Not sure it'll be any good,
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
but at least the movie has an identity and isn't just a cookie cutter superhero flick.
I saw somewhere it's just Underwater Lobo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's underwater like Lord of the Rings, too, if you think about like the battle for the throne and the 7 kingdoms. And it's a lot of different things.
Well, they got the black trident,
Yeah.
just like the dark saber.
Yeah. You have Manta's got a black trident. It's going to give him powers. And we thought, in that first one, you thought James Wan was throwing everything at this movie, everything that could just sink. This has that same feeling. Like there looks like so much shit going on. The CG looks okay. I don't know that, the first one made $1 billion. This one,
It doesn't look that different than the first movie.
it doesn't. But it's consistent. It seems kind of epic. Spoilers for
Spoiler
if you've read the comics. He does have a baby. Let's just say, don't get too attached to the baby. Just gonna leave it at that.
They're gonna kill the baby?
They might be killing a baby. Following that up, and this may explain why I'm seeing these articles about people saying, I heard that test screenings for this were really bad. I heard they had a bad test screening. They went back, they reshot shit, they tested it again, still bad. And then reports saying people walked out of test screenings. Like, would you walk out of a free test screening? How bad does this have to be? Maybe when they kill the baby, we're like, no, we're done. We're out.
Let pause right there.
Yeah.
Just as an aside, how many movies would you say you've walked out of in your entire life at a theater? I only have one.
I don't think. I've walked out of movies for technical problems. If like the thing.
Oh yeah, but walking out of a movie
For
because
content?
you went. This sucks. I'm out.
No, I don't think. I don't think I ever did. I pay for the movie. I want to give him I'm going to watch the fucking movie.
What about you, Ruggs?
I
You
don't
ever walked
remember-
out of a movie?
I don't remember. It may have happened, but I don't remember it at all.
I guess the reason I bring that up is whenever someone says people are walking out of a
yeah,
movie,
what are you doing?
I'm like, does that even happen?
Right.
Do people walk
I've
out
never
of
seen
movies?
anybody walk out of a movie.
No, people walk out of movies, but like, not very often. Like, I don't see it happen a lot. I've seen it every once in a while.
But whenever we hear about these horrible screenings,
Yeah.
the main quote you hear is, "Oh, people are walking out of the movie."
These are
Like,
free
what?
screenings, though. Why are you fucking what are you doing? So you walked out of a movie, Anthony?
Well, I was with my dad.
Okay.
And the movie we watched that my dad was like, "This sucks. We're walking out of this movie." was Eddie Murphy's Holy Man in 1998.
Oh God,
Oh,
I don't think that's
that
a very
movie,
good
my
movie.
dad, I think we all had the expectation Eddie Murphy movie funny, and it was so. I remember it being so unfunny and awful, and my dad literally was like, "We're done. We're getting out of this fucking movie." It
At
sucks."
what point? How far were you in the film?
It was probably towards the end, but it was like he was so like disturbed by how bad it was. He was like, "We're getting out of here and getting some food. This is terrible."
It's 12% on Rotten
I
Tomatoes.
mean, I should have walked out of Freddy Got Fingered, but I watched the whole
Oh,
thing.
come on. That's a cult classic. That is Holy Man, apparently Eddie Murphy's worst movie ever.
I thought it was awful as a kid.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. But like, if you leave, you're like, maybe it gets better. How are you going to know? I don't know. I guess at that point, it doesn't really matter.
Sad. Sorry to take that. I was just like, how often
No,
do people
that-
really walk out of movies?
That's a good tangent because I'm like, who are these people walking out of? How offended do you have? How sensitive do you have to
how
be?
pissed off do you have to be to walk out of a
What
movie?
will actually make you
Well,
walk
you
out of
know,
a movie?
people nowadays,
Oh my God.
I feel like,
People,
you know.
do you think people do it more often now to make a statement?
yeah, I think maybe.
And they could tweet that they walked out of the movie.
Yeah, you can tweet about how like revolted you were, and yeah, nowadays it's more like a thing.
Yeah. You could live stream that you're walking out. Fuck this movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyways, go ahead. Continue.
But this tone of this trailer, what do you think the tone of this movie? Like, part of it is a little cartoony, like when he knocks the statue over and he like bounces off the thing, and I'm like, what
It
is
feels
this?
like the other movie.
It does.
It's,
Yeah.
still,
It's cartoony,
I
but
think
then-
James Wan
yeah.
is keeping it very consistent.
Yeah.
He runs into that statue like he's Mario in like Super Nintendo
boing.
jumping off those boxes that make that boing.
He's grabbing coins. What
Or
the fuck is going on?
those like springs where it goes boing. Like it looks so unnatural.
So yeah, the trailer is decent. I know there's a lot of
It looks the same.
reshoots. It might be a mess. If you look at the IMDb, like Ben Affleck is listed in the cast, but I'm sure that's all been cut.
This has no chance of being good. I'm sorry. It's gonna be like at best it'll be meh.
So having said that, let's give me
Aquaman is, as Ruggs or Imran mentioned, is DC's only $1 billion
$1
movie.
billion movie. And does Momoa?
Yeah, but that's because like I don't know why he made $1 billion.
I don't know. I don't know why either. Does Momoa put butts in seats? What do you think this movie? Do you think it makes $500 million at least, or no? I don't know. Nobody cares. Like everybody's written
for
off.
context, the first one, 2018, 335 domestic, and then over $1 million.
Wow.
Worldwide.
What did,
1.1.
I think it makes $300 million and then stops.
Internationally or here?
Yeah.
But-
So both?
Yes, that's not how you answer that question, Roger. It's not a yes or no question.
What? No, everything. The whole shebang.
The whole
300 million.
shebang, 300.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, dude,
that would be a big disappointment.
None of the last like 7 movies have not made fucking 400 million.
The Flash was under 300, 268. Blue Beetle right now at 120 worldwide.
Wow.
I'm talking worldwide.
Wow.
Black Adam was 393 worldwide, and Shazam: Fear of the Gods 133 worldwide.
I think
so.
this thing is lucky if it cracks 400 million.
I think it's going to beat it.
You think so?
I think it's going to beat. Yeah, I think that first one. A lot of people just clearly by the box office. A lot of people just really enjoyed that zany thing going on.
They like the
I also
James
think
Wan style.
Maybe I'm a little off on this, given the fact Ezra Miller did horrible.
Yeah.
But I think there's like a car crash element to seeing Amber Heard on screen.
Oh my god, that is actually true. Yeah.
What is it about Amber Heard that's so terrible? Like, she took a shit on a bed. I do
we
that all
just
the time.
watched her trial with Johnny Depp and the whole thing.
She didn't look very good in that trial.
Yeah.
She looked like just like a typical person.
Did she?
Oh,
You ever date a girl? That's what they do. They do crazy
Shit on your
shit. Yeah. They do all kinds of crazy shit.
So she's just a normal person.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think if I had to predict, I think it'll do 600 million.
Okay. Oh, you're being a little generous. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and
It's a lame duck movie,
Yeah.
but still.
still disappointment from the first one. Black Manta, though, I gotta say, looks fucking dope. I wanted more. I think he's mad because they cut out all of his story and kicked him off a cliff. The last movie, it was kind of like a side plot. I want to see him fuck some shit up. You see him like burning his house down and destroying shit. So it's like underwater Star Wars. I don't know. It could be fun. Listener, let us know what you think. Join this conversation. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. Jock and Nerd. It is an exclusive closed group just for you. Link in the episode description. Okay.
You think they're just copying? It just feels like kind of like Thor,
Yeah, it's underwater Thor also. Absolutely. I mean,
right? Because he got dude, bro, hero, and then the brother he's got to work with.
It's almost like Thor the Dark World.
Sort of. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah Thor the Dark World,
Beat
yeah.
for beat, if you think about it. There's creatures,
sense,
there's
yeah.
spaceships, there's Momoa.
They just threw a lot of money at effects
Yeah. I don't know what the budget is.
that are like, milk toast.
Well, no, here's my other question. And James Wan's made it seem like, I have an idea for a third movie. You want to keep going. Does Momoa continue as Aquaman, or are they scrapping the whole thing? Do you want to see him continue? Do you want him to see him as Lobo?
That's up to Gunn, though.
Would you rather see him as Lobo? He'd make a great Lobo. Nobody knows Lobo. More people know Aquaman. He did.
I think if he's gonna, I don't think anybody's gonna disassociate him from, because the characters are too close. They both have beards. They both have long hair. They're both bro-y.
One's a bastard. Oh, yeah. Bro Aquaman is great. He's still doing the bro
Aquabro.
Aquabro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a interesting question. I don't know what the answer is to that. It would seem to me it would make the most sense for Gunn to do a clean cut. That being said, if this movie also did $1 billion, how could you deny?
Yeah, I think they might.
Well, I mean, it's not my favorite iteration of Aquaman, but it's not completely milquetoast either. I mean, there is a little bit of a personality there. It's just it's what Thor is.
It's Thor. It's underwater Thor.
It's what Thor is now.
It's like fine. It's a fine.
He's fun to watch.
It's all right.
He can carry it. Remember the last time we saw him was at the end of The Flash, right? He was all drunk and passed out in the street, and I had no idea.
I don't know why that was even.
What was the point of the fucking post-credit scene? I don't know. So yeah,
I think if you're a god of the water or a god of anything, you're always drunk. It's just the way it is. Thor's always drunk. Like everybody who's a god is just drunk.
They're probably gonna wait and
if
see.
If I was like immortal, I would be getting shit faced all the time. Yeah,
that'd be your defining characteristic.
I'm doing it anyway. But but if I was immortal, oh my god,
he should be ruling the earth. Most of the planet is his domain, right? Like 2/3 of it. Why isn't he in charge of everything? Not just Atlantis. Anyhow,
and he won't get dehydrated because he's always in the water.
Yeah,
he doesn't want it.
But he doesn't want it. Reluctant Thor. King. It's Thor. It's exactly Thor with Jason Momoa. Anyways, I got a couple other trailers I wanted to discuss about things that are coming out later this month that I'm kind of excited for. Little geek boner.
Geek boner.
Geek boner. Not much has been coming out, but there is some things to look forward to. The first thing, the Boys spinoff show on Amazon, Gen V, just put out a Redband trailer. This thing is premiering September 29th at the end of the month, and this is a nice, violent, sweary trailer. Ruggs, let's start with you this time. Are you excited to see there's puppets in here?
Yeah, I did not get a fucking phone call.
It looks felty and inclusive. In fact, the puppets are ripping out heads and spines.
Yeah, it's nice to see my people up on the screen,
right?
I gotta say. But like, I also feel like, hey, I've been the one promoting this whole lifestyle. And I got no phone calls, nothing.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck you all.
It's inclusive.
Besides that slight,
yeah.
It looks kind of interesting. It's very gory. I mean, It looked like I was like walking into a butcher. Watching this fucking trailer. There's entrails everywhere. There's a chick that like gets small and goes inside people.
Yeah, there's like a female termite. Wasn't termite?
So it was basically she's doing like the Thanos method for Ant-Man. Remember that? Where he goes to people's asses and he destroys Thanos.
Is she gonna go in a vagina and explode?
Dick hole.
Yeah, what's gonna happen this time? I can't wait to find out.
You got a guy who's got telekinesis. There's a girl who's got blood kinesis.
Human Torch. There's the Human Torches in this.
There's a guy who's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's all the standard shit, but they're doing like their own little twisty boys things with it, where they're kind of taking it to the nth degree, making it hyper violent, hyper gritty, hyper fucked up. It's like a black comedy. So, it's going to be like a black comedy sending up superheroes, same thing as The Boys, only with a younger, more hipper angle.
It's almost like a young X-Men team or a New Mutants team.
Yeah, it's kind of trying to get that vibe.
Yeah, Anthony, you excited for puppets eviscerating people? I don't know.
Don't know that I'm excited, but
come on, you're excited about puppets.
That being said, I've always enjoyed The Boys. The spinoff looks very Boys-esque. I'm curious when this is occurring. If this is occurring,
after
in the same time as this, or is it a prequel? I don't know. A little bit unclear on that. Maybe it's occurring right at the same time. That being said,
red hair girl's in it. So the red hair lawyer chick or whatever she is,
the girl who was running the thing at the end,
and then like the girl who was running for office is also in it.
Oh yeah, the Congresswoman lady is in this. So it might be after everything we've seen. Present time.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good. The Boys is not for everybody. This is not for everybody. But if you like that wild shit, if you like to, if you like to get a little freaky sometimes, this is it.
I hope
if you like to live a little bit on the wild side and get real fucked up, this is the one.
Yeah, if you like to fucking do some meth and shake hands with Satan, this is the show for you.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
If you're only doing, one or two wipes on your ass, this is that show.
Yeah.
If you are nasty.
If you're waking up with shit in your bed and you're not Johnny Depp, this is the show for you.
Not your shit. This is the show for you.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to some fucked up violent superhero shit. So bring it on.
Yeah, the show is unapologetically what it is. Now, how long can that be a thing? As long as there's good writing and they have things, tropes and themes that are still resonant, as long as you can still connect to the characters. Once the show just relies on the gags, that's when it's just going to go.
I think that's just like it's a garnish. Like the characters have to have real arcs, and the characters have to be interesting.
Yep.
And like, I'm not tuning in because it's gory. I'm not like a fucking sicko.
No.
But
wait, you're not tuned in to see dicks explode with little people in it?
I need more dicks exploding.
Maybe. I'm not. That's not my focus. My focus is to be entertained by a good story. And so, that's their way to market it. Like, it's edgy, it's fucking dark, but that's not why I'm really watching it. I like adult entertainment, but Yeah, has to have good characters.
Oh, not only is Sean Patrick Thomas in this, let's not forget Patrick Schwarzenegger is in this show.
Oh.
And Jason Ritter. Oh, well, you got all these kids, all these people.
Wow.
We are going to see a Schwarzenegger. He's
And speaking of another star, child.
son of another star. Yes, there's not only that to get excited on the movie side. Also, the same day, September 29th, that movie, The Creator, is coming out. They put out a final trailer showing a little more emotional themes of the movie. This one, of course, directed by Gareth Edwards, gave us Godzilla and Rogue One, and hasn't had, I don't think he's done a movie since Rogue One, which was a while ago. But low key, I'm super excited after this trailer.
Hey, when I was always wondering what the fuck happened to him. I was like, where did he go? What is he doing? Is he done? Is he working in Star Wars, make him crazy?
2016, that Rogue One was the last thing he directed.
Like he took on like Godzilla, which is an impossible task, and did okay.
Then gets the Star Wars gig, and then that probably traumatized him for a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm sure that because I think that someone took over the reins and finished the movie without him or whatever. Wasn't like Tony Gilroy or something?
Yes,
doing
I
that?
think the writers came in, and they didn't tell him. And
so
they
he
changed
probably got butthurt by that.
Yeah.
But like, this trailer looks fucking great,
dude.
Like,
This movie
I
looks
think it's
great.
like the best looking trailer I've seen in a while. So it looks just on scope. It looks great.
It looks epic. Yeah, it's a little bit Star Wars, but it's kind of like I'm just looking forward to an original story in this world that he's setting up.
Well, it's reminiscent of like Neil Blomkamp more than
District
anything
9 and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with Ruggs. That's exactly when I was watching the trailer, I got District 9 feels off of it.
Yeah.
And I have to agree. When you first said watch this trailer, I looked at the name. I'd forgotten that I'd seen the original,
Right.
the one that came out a couple months ago. So I'd forgotten all about it. And I was going, another fucking trailer. Imran's got me watching. And I got wrapped up in that trailer.
Right?
I literally watched it and went, shit, I might go fucking see that movie. That might be a movie we have to review, especially if it's good. And the reason for it is it first off, it looks well shot.
Yes.
It looks like it has scope. But more importantly, there is a plot point in there that right away you connect with, in that there's this little girl, and even though she is AI, this guy who is sent to kill her has to protect her, and it's just this whole, I think, it's like, what's that fucking horror movie with the little boy?
Exorcist? No, The Omen?
No, The Omen.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like the end of the world is actually a little kid.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Antichrist, yeah.
Yeah. And this isn't the Antichrist or whatever, but I want to see how that plays out. It just, and the way it was cut with the music, it just wrapped me in. I'm emotionally connected with it right away.
Yes, very emotional trailer. You got Ken Watanabe in this, and then John David Washington, which we're going to talk about a Denzel movie later. But I love John David Washington. Everything he's been in has been great. But these ships and these robots look amazing, and the world looks amazing. Gareth Edwards very good at shooting like battle scenes that have
he's
scale
great.
and
he's great at framing battles and how big things are in the background. I mean, the first Godzilla and Rogue One are both, both shot really, really well.
I feel like that's his biggest strong suit. I think his biggest weakness is that everything that he does plods along. Like there's no urgency to his movies.
Oh, interesting.
So like, even though the visuals, I got to give him credit. He's a visionary person. Like he's a visionary. He has this like view that it just immediately it makes it feel like larger than life and more and it's not like Zack Snyder where like Zack Snyder's like doing a thing. He's kind of bringing you into a world. It's almost like he's like pulling you into a world.
Dude, this
and
trailer
making you feel like you're there.
The trailer pulled me into the world. Like, I buy all of it. It looks believable. I want to go to this place. We are going to review this. He
does a good job building on that point. And I completely agree. And I think maybe that's probably why they edited Rogue One, because I think Rogue One is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
They might have edited it to increase its pace.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I like the way it was.
He does plot along. I feel like he's very deliberate in his pace, but like when you're sitting in the theater and your butt's sweating in the seat,
keep it moving.
You're like, let's get things moving, dude. Like, we need urgency. So it's a fine line that you have to walk as a great director. Like James Cameron can make a 3-hour movie and make it feel like it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like there is a way to do it and still have the time and it feel like heavy. So that's the one thing he's got to work on.
He's writing on this one too with Chris Wheat, so it may. I wonder how long it's going to be. Let me ask you this: this trailer looks epic, dope. Look at the visuals. How much do you think the budget of this movie is, just by looking at these trailers?
Like at least $200 million.
Okay, Anthony, what do you think?
I mean, now that you feel like you're setting us up, but it looks like a $200 million
The
movie.
budget for this movie is around $80 million.
Oh, shit.
So he did something very smart. First of all, low budget, so the return will be better. And how he did this, he says in this article I found that I thought this was very crazy. He shot a lot of stuff on location. Instead of using green screens and building sets, they went to 80 different locations to shoot this shit. They also developed this mobile lighting rig so they can set up their lighting in seconds and shoot and go. So he was like, we shot all the shit on location, and then there's some green screen and all the visuals were just applied on top of what we shot to keep the budget down. So yeah, even if this thing like flops, it could be profitable because this is not a $300 million movie. It's like 80, 86
what
million.
else too is his style, at least from some of these stuffs, his visual style reminds me of Ridley Scott too.
Yeah. There's Blade
Where he
Runner
shoots a
in
lot
here.
of landscapes.
Yeah, absolute Blade Runner.
He does a good job
influence.
too of making you feel like you're in the movie, but it's not like a found footage film.
Oh yeah, like first person point of view. You're along the ride with them.
Well, you're in you know, it's not even first person point of view. The way it's magical. The way he angles the cameras, and I don't know. You look at like a lot of different films, and you know the easy one to shit on is Marvel, and I'm going to in the sense you don't feel like
You're there.
Those Marvel films sometimes feel real. This I don't know. It feels real.
No, you're right. Like in Rogue One, like the battle scenes, how the camera kind of follows along with them, and you're like
when
right
they're on
in
the
there.
beach and you see the big
You look up.
addicts.
Yeah,
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
You know, coming at them. It's just like, whoa, those things look menacing. They look giant.
Yeah, and I don't know why nobody ever shot that shit before. That one little thing went so far when you see the perspective from on the ground and how big they really feel. Same thing with Godzilla, right? He pulled that off. You could tell scale. So
yeah, that was a Herculean task, like to bring Godzilla to life in a way that really well, like people really liked. Like people were all down. People love the legendary version of Godzilla, and he like set the tone. And he
Not John Belay Jr.
well, I think he secretly does like it. He just doesn't.
He doesn't want to admit it.
No, he does. Of course, he loves it. Come on.
He likes it.
Look, the movies aren't all good. That's the problem. But the design and how he acts and how he fights, like every Godzilla fan wants that.
Right.
Like he kicks ass like no other Godzilla does. So, yeah.
I mean, the not to make this a Godzilla thing, but when his tail starts to slowly light up as he's about to do the atomic breath, and no one had done it like that before, and it's such he builds to that scene so well. He gives you the things that Godzilla does. He builds to them so well. The middle of the movie is pretty fucking slow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's his biggest problem is that they've got to cut. Like as I said, when I got out of that movie, I was like, they should have cut like 20 minutes out of that movie. Would have been much better.
Right. It's crazy that it's been 7. He's only done. This is his 4th movie ever.
Yeah.
He's been directing since 2010.
Yeah.
4 movies in 13 years. 7 years since his last movie.
I'm telling you,
he was a visual director.
He was
visual effects.
Visual
artist before
effects.
this.
But dude, working on a Star Wars movie, it does things to you. Take that.
Apparently, I mean, what's his name? Go ahead.
I know. I think that it's the process. I think that the fact that someone finishes your movie, that's like someone fucking your girlfriend for you. You know, it's like you don't want that to happen. You know, you lose control of your own film, and it's like probably not even his fault, I guess. It could be the fact that his movie wasn't urgent enough, like we've been talking about. But like, yeah, that you don't want that to happen.
I'd imagine it's more like you've been banging this girl, you're about to marry her, you realize she's pregnant, the kid comes out, and it's now your baby. That's what I probably.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He went through a Maury episode on this fucking Rogue One, but
wait a minute, I'm not black.
So maybe he had more control, and he's had this story, and it's his baby that he's been working for a long time.
Is this it looks like
it looks it's original, not adapted or anything. So that's also fun. I think it'll be a surprisingly good.
You know what else that kid reminds me of? Not at all the same visual, but like slightly.
Yeah,
was Alita Battle Angel?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
the way the kid looks.
Yeah. Oh, right, the kid. Yeah. Those effects on them look amazing. Where there's like just
this is way better.
This
looks more real.
Yeah,
this looks more real.
Alita gets a little exaggerated.
Well, isn't Alita supposed to not look real?
Right.
No. The other characters that are human.
Yeah.
That they were a little bit sketchy.
September 29th. I'm looking forward to this. All right, that's it for the news. Let's take a quick break, play some promos, and we're going to come back, discuss Denzel Washington doing math while murdering people right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Check out what's been going on with the Pop Culture Cosmos Show and the PCC Multiverse.
That is by far my favorite because it's also character driven and the stakes are high and there's much more of a mystery and intrigue to it.
A game like Wolfenstein, which people are saying are one of the most socially important video games of the past 10 years.
Catch our shows on radio worldwide 7 days a week or at any time on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or on over 30 more podcast outlets.
Was A Quiet Place inspired by Signs, It Comes at Night, and War for the Planet of the Apes? Was Ready Player One influenced by Avatar, Wreck-It Ralph, and The Last Starfighter? Is The Hurricane Heist more influenced by Sharknado or Geostorm? These are the kinds of questions my guest co-hosts and I discuss on my podcast, Piecing It Together. Every week, we look at a new movie and try to figure out what other movies inspired it. Whether it's the story, the character development, tone, or even use of music. Every movie was influenced by something that came before, and we want to figure out what. Check out Piecing It Together on your favorite podcast app or check us out on piecingpod.com. You can also follow us on social media at piecingpod. Piecing It Together is a part of the All Points West podcast network.
And
Listener, if you enjoy the show, it is a great time to join the Jock and Nerd fan club on Patreon.
Jock and Nerd!
Just visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. You'll see there's a bunch of tiers there. You can give back. It helps keep the show going. You get access to a bonus podcast feed where the shows come out early, instant reactions to movies, bonus content is put out there. You can also hang out with us on our monthly Discord hangouts. Lots of fun. This month's Discord is this week, September 21st, 8 p.m. Who's going to be there? Anybody? Ruggs?
I'll be there.
When?
This Thursday.
Oh, fuck.
8 p.m. If you're free, Anthony, you know where we'll be.
Oh, fuck. All right.
All right. Put it in your
What time? 8 p.m.?
Yeah. We can look at shoes. If you want, we can look at shoes for 2 hours.
We can talk shoes for 2
If that will get you to show up, I'm down. We can talk shoes. I'm sure other people want to talk shoes. Anyways, Anthony's very much into shoes. But you can also choose any movie for us to review. There's a tier where you get an exclusive T-shirt. Lots of fun stuff. Big thanks to all our current continued subscribers and supporters on the Patreon. We love you guys. Sign up today. Okay, let's get to this week's review. It's kind of random. We are going to be reviewing The Equalizer 3, even though we've never talked about the first two movies. We'll get into all that.
Well, I always like my Equalizer set on music.
Oh,
not like rock or pop.
Equalizer.
Sometimes
joke.
Nighttime I'll set my Equalizer.
See, I was gonna make like a Sweet and Low joke, right? I like my like equal Sweet and Low.
I don't understand what he just said.
Equalizer is the thing on your stereo. They don't even have these anymore. Those little bands.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about because no one listens to regular
with the
music.
Sliders that you could you adjust the bass and the treble and the mid range on old school stereo. That was the Equalizer. It's your EQ.
Like when I hear the word Equalizer, I just think about a radio and all the dials I want to do to get my bass to sound right.
I just thought of sugar substitutes like Splenda and Equal and Sweet and Low.
Wow, we're so far apart on
We're
this.
so old. Anyways, here's your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
So this is the third and
The
final
laugh right before the...
third and final installment of this Equalizer franchise. The first coming out in 2014, the second coming out in 2018. And I guess how we got here is the first movie was in our 21st century action movie tournament.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, snap. And we'd seen these movies and I was like, I should check this out. And then ended up watching both of them. We'll talk about that. But this whole thing loosely based on this TV show I used to watch with my dad. He was a fan. The Equalizer ran on CBS from 1985 to 1989 with an old white Englishman, Edward Woodward, playing Robert McCall. And currently there is another reimagining with Queen Latifah as Robin McCall. It started 2021. There's like 3 seasons of that Equalizer. So it's still a thing. On Rotten Tomatoes, Equalizer 3 is sitting at 75% tomato meter, 6.2 out of 10. Audience gives it a 94%.
Whoa.
The first movie is at 61%. The second movie, 52%. So this is a notable improvement. The budget of this movie, $70 million. So not a huge budget. It opened a few weeks ago. It's been out for a few weeks. September 1st, Labor Day weekend, does 34 million domestic opening. Currently, it has 73 million domestic, and its total worldwide of 132, which really isn't that bad for this franchise. So the first 2 movies consistently opened to about 34, 36 million. They both ended up around 100 million domestic and about 190 million worldwide. Very similar numbers for those first 2 movies. And this thing already is at 132 million. So it could possibly do better. The movie, directed by Anton Fuqua. This is the 5th time him and Denzel have worked together on a movie. Starring, of course, Denzel Washington, who is 68, by the way.
Well, next year he'll be 69.
I just need to mention that, playing the Equalizer Robert McCall. This one, great reunion with Dakota Fanning in this movie. The 20-year reunion from Man on Fire. I was waiting for her to say, Greasy. Greasy.
That is very odd, isn't it?
So it was great to see them together. And then a bunch of Italian dudes and other people. You didn't really have to know anybody else's name. But you got the Dakota Fanning. Anthony.
Yes.
I know you watched the first one. Did you watch the second one?
I watched the second one right the day before I watched the third one. So I'm equalized up.
You are equalized. Ruggs, are you equalized?
No, I don't remember the second one. I know I watched it because I watch everything, but I don't remember it at all.
We can jog your memory because I recently watched the second one too. So, Anthony, how do you want to do this? I want the plot of Equalizer 3, but I feel like we should kind of give a quick franchise recap about what Robert McCall's been going through.
Oh, sure.
Can you do that?
Robert McCall is a retired, I would guess, secret agent for the U.S. that was sent in to eliminate people. And he's now retired, and he's trying to live a normal life, but he keeps getting wrapped into people getting wronged that he cares about, and goes back to his old life to equalize the wrongs.
Yes.
And he's basically the Terminator. He's even though he's almost 70 years old, he's better at hand-to-hand combat. He's faster. He's always in the right place at the right time. He knows where to be. He knows how things are going to play out to his favor. He's just badass. He's unstoppable. He's a killing machine. So the first one, he basically saves a prostitute that he'd befriended at a coffee shop and gets himself wrapped into the Russian mafia and kills everybody. The second one, he is roped in because his female friend, agent person,
Susan.
whatever the hell she was, Susan, gets killed in a setup, and he realizes that his ex-agent or his ex-army military buddies are now assassins, so he has to go against them, and it's a whole conspiracy.
He kills Pedro Pascal.
He kills Mando.
He kills Mando and Oberon, yes.
And now in the third one, he is on a job in Sicily, where Rug Boy likes to eat sandwiches, and he is on a job. He gets wounded on the job and finds himself in a small town in Sicily that he loves, and he grows to really care for the people, but this town is also being harassed by the mafia, and he has to step in to protect them.
Well, I gotta make a correction here.
Yeah.
So he's in Sicily to do the job.
Yeah.
Then he takes a ferry to the Naples region, Amalfi Coast.
Amalfi Coast, yes.
And that's where he falls in love. he's basically on the run because you don't want to fuck with Sicilian mafia. It's crazy.
But he finally finds peace almost a little bit. In
Altamonte, what's it called? Altamonte.
Altamonte. Well,
I don't know if that's a real. I thought it was called something else.
It is a real place, but it's not on the coast.
Oh, okay.
So they did some like Fugazi stuff where like Altamonte is actually more inland than it is on the coast. It's got like next to a lake, not on a coast. Like so, basically, it's the Amalfi Coast. There's a small town on the Amalfi Coast. Ish.
Yes, and he's trying to find a place to retire, and of course, everywhere he goes, people start fucking with him, and they soon learn
people fuck.
Don't fuck with this old man. Anthony, what'd you think after watching this one?
So I liked the first one. The second one I thought was entertaining, but I didn't think it was as good as the first one. The third one is a formula that we've seen where guy gets injured, gets rescued by the local peoples. Sometimes this happens in Asia. Sometimes this happens with Native Americans. And they bring back this person, and this person learns the ways of the culture, but then has to step in and protect the people from the local gang.
It's
Avatar. It's what is it? It's Dances with Wolves.
There's a lot of westerns. I was going to say there's a lot of westerns.
Every western
have this story.
It's that movie that Tom Cruise is in, where he's in Asia, and it's all those things.
Yeah.
It's also kind of a throwback movie. You know, this whole series has been kind of a throwback, where it's like Death Wish, where it's like the old guy is just seeing crime, and he's like, "Fuck, I got to do something about this shit." And you all keep fucking with me, and I'm old, and I don't like when you fuck with these people.
I want to have to do this, but I will.
Yeah, it's a type of movie. Stuckman said this, and it's a type of movie that doesn't get very made often, but was made a lot in the 70s, 80s, 90s, where it's just tough guy, heart of gold. You pissed him off. You're hurting innocent people, and he's got to do something about it.
With one of the last like big movie stars, who's a name.
Yeah, so building off of all of that, I liked it. It's at the end of the day, it's a well shot film. There's some beautiful shots of Italy and of Denzel in the light behind him in the beginning, and there's the formula of these movies are pretty violent. You see some heinous shit happen to people that makes you fucking hate the bad guys.
Yeah,
and you do want to see Denzel kick some ass. And it's Denzel Washington, and he's charismatic as fuck. He is 68 years old, so there isn't as much action as one would like in probably this one.
Yeah.
But when he does fucking kill people, it's brutal as shit, and you like it.
Yeah.
So they've kind of nailed the formula down for these movies, and I like that shit because this is action, and you don't see these movies being made very often. Although we're kind of on a string of good action movies.
Yeah.
The only drawback I would see, and I noticed this watching the movie, and then Stuckman also said it when I watched his review, but Denzel's character, other than getting shot in the beginning, is basically like invulnerable.
Yeah, nobody he challenges him.
No one, and they keep doing the thing in these movies where, at least in the second one, they kind of went against it, but they keep doing the thing where no one even knows that he's that badass, and like no one's prepared for him.
He's the unassuming old man. You think it's just the lift
he never
driver.
gets like a fight. Like he never really gets a fair fight.
No, he's too
always
good.
just fucking wins. He's just awesome.
Dude, he's too good. He's 10 steps ahead.
He's like 35 steps ahead.
He's like 30,
So that's a little bit of a drawback, but overall, I like the fucking film.
Yeah, that is a weakness, but the way that when I watch these movies, I just think it's the Punisher. It's the Punisher.
It's the Punisher. You're right.
Yeah.
It's like he's a fucking homicidal maniac.
Yeah.
He likes killing people. He's looking for an excuse to fucking kill people.
It's the Punisher, and it's that same character from Man on Fire.
Yes.
Doing all that
almost
shit.
like a sequel. It's a successor.
Which is the Punisher.
Yeah,
also.
exactly.
But it's a little Batman. It's a little Punisher.
Yeah.
But it's more Punisher than Batman.
More Punisher.
Because like the Punisher, at least to the mafia and the people that are being hunted by him, the Punisher is like fucking Jason or like Michael Myers.
It's what he's like in the third act. He's just a straight up serial killer.
It's not John Wick where it's an action movie with like elaborate scenes. It's like this dude knows how to get into your house. This dude knows how to come in and fucking he knows how to assess the situation. Like, there's a couple of different characters that are like this. You got Jason Bourne, who's like this hyper trained person that he tells you exactly what everything that's going on. You got Jack Reacher that's also like this. So these military trained people that know what to do for every situation. We've seen them done before, but it's interesting because you can't do high impact action. So you have to like do it in this like slasher film type way.
Right.
Where it's kind of it's kind of a mishmash of genres in this. And so it makes it more interesting than like just doing a traditional like action film, which I would like too, you know, but that would just be a Punisher movie at that point. I thought this movie was really engrossing, even though it was very predictable.
Yeah.
I had problems with a couple of parts, and there are two parts where like he should have been dead. Like in the restaurant when he fucking fucked with that guy with his hand.
Dude, that's a great scene.
Why did they just blow him away there? They should have.
Yeah.
Like, you mean the leader of your gang is being fucked with by some outsider in the middle of a restaurant where you're trying to shake someone down?
He's got his boys.
You all leave and like just pout about it. I'm like, no, that's plot armor.
Yeah, they're a bunch of punks.
And then
but that shit is actual. That scene where he's like, I love that line. He has the best lines where he's like, I'm pressing on your median nerve. This is a 2. Then he goes, press on. This is a 3. He's like, you want to see 4? You can shit your pants. Nobody wants to see that. But that's apparently like a real move you could do to somebody. Is what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I heard it. I leveled. Yeah, it was great. I love. And the other line where the guy's like, "You warning me?" He goes, "I'm preparing you." So fucking good. Just-
No, Ruggs is right. That scene is. There's no reason those people should leave.
Yeah,
they should all just get over there and blow them away.
Just
Well, that's it.
I know, and I know the other moment you're probably going to say where I don't know why the guy just didn't shoot him when he just
We're in the middle of the crowd.
Yes, when he was just standing there, but right there. Yeah,
before everybody started taking out their phones.
Yes, I was like, oh,
because until the doctor fires that shot, no one had their phones out.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
yep. No, I mean, but again, that's like. It almost is written in the way that Robert's character would know that the people would do that. Like it's implausible.
Like he was counting on it.
He was counting on it being in the middle of the courtyard and people would pull out their phones.
It's a little contrived, but I'll allow it.
He's just perfect.
He's so good.
Just so perfect.
Denzel, I don't think there's
No, I'm saying the character's written to be perfect.
Robert McCall. Yes.
Yeah, he's
very
like
good.
yeah. It would have been nice to see him but I figured that since they had him I feel like they had him surviving an injury throughout most of this movie, and so they didn't want to take him down again. So, he was going to be extra careful this time. He was going to be, and he wasn't going to fuck up like he did last time, where he got shot by a kid.
Yeah, that was a big slip too in the beginning. I kind of love this franchise now. These are great. The rewatchables. Bill Simmons did the first movie with his dad. And everyone call it, these are great dad movies. It's a dad movie. It's a dad action revenge movie. Like my father would have fucking loved this shit. I love the violence. And Denzel never does franchises. It's wild to see him play the same character 3 times. I did enjoy this, even though it's a little different than the first 2. And for most of it, you're just watching Denzel hang out in Italy, make friends, get some new clothes.
The hot Italian
He's getting
waitress
hit on by women.
Want to take him out to eat.
People are making him tea. They're in the show, and he's got a cool hat. And
I love when he asked for tea in the beginning, and then the guy's like, "Yep," and then the girl comes by and she's like, "Tea's for old women and
Englishmen."
In English,
yeah,
just gives him a cappuccino or something.
Yeah, I love his whole thing where he's kind of OCD and he's got to have his napkin and his spoon, which I read. None of that was in the script. He added that in the beginning.
Because they get away from that in the second one. He doesn't do any of that shit. So they brought it back.
The one thing they don't do in this movie is that close-up eye shot where he scopes out the situation like his superpower and it goes around the room.
Right.
I was waiting for that. They didn't do that, but they gave there's not a lot of action. There is a lot of sit-down acting, what I call. But fucking Denzel is committed in every role. He's never bad in any movie. The movie
he's a star. He's a star.
He's undoubtedly.
Well, yeah, Denzel was flawless.
Yeah.
And that's what made Dakota Fanning look like way worse.
A little bit. She was trying to keep up with him.
Well, what was nice though about Dakota Fanning, is it is a nice nod though to Man on Fire.
They have some.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I feel like isn't Dakota Fanning a good actress? Like, why does she seem like she's saying every line with the same exact tone?
She is pretty dry.
They had a little bit of like chemistry, like they knew each other, but Denzel can act circles around.
Well, he makes her look. Even he can elevate her.
Yeah,
but she is a little bit dry. But I just liked that it was because it's this, as I mentioned earlier, it's the same character from Man on Fire. It's just now it's its own franchise, and to bring it makes that movie almost like come in full circle with this, and it's a nice it's a nice cherry on top if this is the end of it.
Well, any other actress, I wouldn't even have like raised an eyebrow, but this is somebody that we've known since they were a child acting. Right. Like you expect more. I just thought it would be more electric on screen, like, or not only that, but like more nuanced of a performance. So yeah, I wasn't really too happy with her, but she has a great line when he gets to the top of the thing and he goes to the church. She want me to call you an ambulance? And I thought that was funny. That made me laugh out loud.
There's some great lines. Here's my favorite line.
Somebody touch my spaghetti.
Remember when they said that? That was great. Sorry, I wanted to play that clip. No, the beginning. Dude, this is a solid ending to this franchise, right? The shots of Italy were beautiful. Similar to Talented Mr. Ripley, I wanted to go there. I wanted to live there and hang out there. It was the change of scenery I thought really helped this third one, that instead of just being in Boston. But that opening scene where it's like one shot and they're panning by all these people who've been violently, there's a fucking cleaver in one dude's head. And then you just cut to him sitting in this light with this guy with the gun. And I love where he goes, your man on the right's 2 feet too close. That's a mistake. Your man on the left's dead already. He doesn't know it. I feel really bad for his family. And then he's like, I'll give you 9 seconds to help you decide your fate. And then just fucking kills every one of them.
Well, that scene, I literally was, first off, I was in the smallest movie theater I've ever been in.
Oh, really?
It was probably, you could seat maybe 35 people.
Was there anybody else in the theater? I didn't.
It was probably there's probably about 20 people in there.
Oh, okay. I had.
So I've never been in a movie theater that small in my life. It was interesting. But that scene in the beginning, when he grabs the gun, shoves the gun through the guy's eye, and then starts shooting the other guy through his head.
That's amazing.
When he shoves the gun through the guy's eye, I literally went out loud, and that's a good action move when I go, and I did
that several times in this movie, seeing the bones crack, seeing his kill. I was like, oh, fuck me. Oh, shit.
When he shoots like the final guy in the balls.
Oh, yeah. In the ass.
Like as he's trying to crawl.
He shot the guy in the ass.
You know what's funny about that scene, too, is he shoots the guy in the ass, and in Training Day, he gets shot in the ass.
Oh, that's right.
Shot me in the ass.
King Kong.
I think he wanted to do all his best hits to other people.
They got shit on me.
Shot me in the ass. No, he shoots that guy. He shotguns that guy in the fucking ass.
Great opening scene, and then you don't get
great action scene.
Then you don't get a lot of violence. Then you don't get any action for a while. But like
you don't get any action, but you do get like heinous shit. So every movie there's some heinous shit, right? So the first one you see this prostitute gets beat the fuck up.
Yeah.
One gets strangled to death. This one you see his friend. The second one you see his friend getting like brutally murdered.
Yeah.
And in this one you see a dude in a wheelchair
get hung.
hung through a fucking window. It's like, oh my God.
I will say this Kimura Mafia, Vincent, the dude's brother, pretty ruthless guy.
Brutal.
Like, they're one note, but they didn't give a fuck. They'll kill
that's
babies.
A real thing, though.
Right? The Kimura is a real mafia, right?
In Naples, it's like overrun. That whole area, is overrun with the Gomorrah, and they're everywhere. That's all. A lot of it's very young kids too.
Although I did find it a little far fetched that they wanted to like blow up and terrorize this town just to build like casinos and hotels and resort. Like, okay, just it's where all the tourists.
Oh, they're doing way worse shit than that.
But these fucking people,
like when you saw the guy when they cut the fucking head of police,
they cut his hand off
and put it in ice and sent the that shit kind of happens there.
Damn.
Well, they do a great job making you hate these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Because but I mean, even the people like that, the little brother, he just has a face that I'm like, I fucking hate that guy.
Those guys and then when he kills them out of nowhere, and it's great because like you see it in him, and he doesn't want to do it, and he gives them an opportunity. He's like, whatever you're doing, do it somewhere else. and they didn't listen, and then now he has to fucking brutally murder him. When that guy gets hit by the car out of nowhere, I was like, oh fuck! And then he just fucking stabs the guy in the throat, and oh god, there's one dude's decapitated at one point. Doesn't the head fall off?
Right.
Yeah.
Towards the end. And in the end, he is straight up Mike Myers coming out of the shadow, just fucking stabbing people in the head. It's amazing.
That last guy's like final death, where he's just walking through the streets, like foaming at the mouth,
and he's just following
until he just
him.
drops dead.
Yeah,
and then he eats an apple.
Yeah, it's great. He just gives him all the drugs that he was selling.
You don't see very many movies like this anymore. Like most of the movies that are like this, Ruggs is watching direct to TV,
and this
he's watching
starring
what's
Frank
his name?
Grillo.
Yeah, exactly. He's watching Grillo and Bruce Willis before he got sick.
And this
dude,
do these type of movies.
If Denzel retires, Grillo's got to take over. He's the next old dude to do
you
this.
think if Arnold was in this movie, they would have to put in the line, "You've been equalized"? The math doesn't add up.
No, he has to rekindle his role as the eraser.
Oh yes,
and then they can have Denzel and Arnold cross over in the Equalizer versus the eraser.
I just wanted Denzel every time it's every movie they ask him, "Who are you, man?" I just wanted him to be like, "I'm the Equalizer, bitch," but he never says.
Let me ask you guys real quick, just as starting with Ruggs, and then Imran, you can jump in when you interrupt. Why is it that Denzel can do these types of movies, but like our old heroes like Stallone and Schwartz, like they make these type of movies and no one gives a fuck anymore?
I think it's because Denzel doesn't have the machismo. Like
it's the understated.
This is all vanity, right? So like Stallone is got the biggest ego. He's so vain that he's still going to try and do the action scenes and like do them like the way he did them when he was like 40. And Arnold's the same way. Like, but Denzel's like, yeah, I'm just gonna act like I could kick ass, and then he'll just maybe put me in whatever. I don't have to be fucking glistening with my shirt off. I don't have to do any of that. Just make me do whatever I got to do. If I have to be Mike Myers and do it, let me do it like that way. Because like that new Rambo where Stallone was in Mexico, like he tried to mix it up, and like that's when you can see it's an old dude.
But I think the main reason is Denzel's acting skill is on another level from those guys. This guy has
that's also
range.
true.
He could do drama and action. He went and talked to like people who had OCD to do research for the things he put in himself.
Yeah, he's got different tools. You could do a lot with that. But, they try and do that shit with fucking Liam Neeson. They try and make him look like a badass.
Liam Neeson is the other guy that's kind of doing these kind of movies. Like, there's another one
been
out.
like 10 years since Liam Neeson's done a movie.
He's in so many movies with like one word, like retribution. And I forget what
but
the
then
others
there's the other guy, Nobody. There's the other.
Bob Odenkirk though isn't as old.
Like literally everybody doing action movies is like 60.
Tom Cruise is the other guy that would.
Cruise, Keanu.
Yeah.
Well, like I was thinking about that. Like the three or four big action stars. I mean, Vin Diesel's also old too, for what it's worth. Vin Diesel's over 50. The Rock, I think, is 50 for what it's worth. But the other big guys, like Cruise, hangs his hat on just being a madman, right? Doing the stunts. Yeah. Keanu hangs his hat on, I'm still at this age, but I'm going to do the hand-to-hand shit on screen. Yep. And Denzel's like, why are you all doing all that crazy shit? I'm going to sit here and stir a cup of tea and be just as badass.
Yeah.
He is.
What are you guys exerting yourself for?
He has like this quiet intensity, right? You know he's going to snap.
Intense.
You feel it. And
even the way like he has like his lip where it's like underneath
he's making weird
his teeth, and it's like half. His lower lip is like half out.
Why is he doing that?
It's like he's biting his lip.
Yes,
like
very
like he's like thinking like you guys are fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
like you're dead, and you don't even know it. You don't know it.
He's like Tom. Why are you jumping out of planes?
Seemed like
I'm hanging out in Italy.
Stallone would never make that face because he's too concerned about looking cool.
Right.
But Denzel will make that wacky ass. I look like weird.
That's called
his face looks shit like weird.
That's called commitment to a role. You don't care what he looks like. He knows his presence and his talent is there. He's fucking amazing.
What is it with the resurgence of old men being the best?
That's all we have now. We have old man action and
old men, and then Hemsworth.
This is one of the better franchises up there.
Yeah, Hemsworth is like the youngest guy there, and he's in his mid.
I will. Let's talk about Dakota Fanning's storyline a little bit because while it does seem
reveal at the end
a little unnecessary, there is a reveal. I also thought it was interesting. We don't find out what he's doing in Italy. The whole time I was like, what the fuck is he doing there in the beginning? You don't find out until the end of the third act that ties into Emma, the FBI agent. Emma Collins was the daughter of Susan, who got killed in the second movie.
No, but that's not why he's there.
Well, he's there to find the pension. This guy was using the drugs. Oh, the other money. He was hacking things and stealing.
It was an accident.
Pensions.
He was only it was serendipitous that he was there. He was really just there because he was driving that guy in a lift.
Oh,
and
that's
heard his
right.
story.
Yeah. And wanted to help him out, which is great. But I love that, like, he gave her info to give her a promotion. He's looking out for Susan's daughter.
It was a nice little review. I didn't expect that it was the girl's daughter.
Yeah, and that's why I thought the second one had a little more backstory. It was a little more personal to Robert McCall. And the fucking
the second one was good. I just liked the first one. I connected with the first one.
The first one.
Would you like to see a prequel of
you know what?
With Denzel's son?
Yes, I think because Anton Fuqua is actually considered Michael B. Jordan. They've talked about, but I think John David Washington should do the prequel to The Equalizer.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Prequelizer, call it. I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you call it.
The prequelizer. See, you beat me to the pun, you fuck.
But how awesome would that be? I would watch that, like how he got to be badass when I think he was a Marine and a CIA agent or whatever.
The rumor is if they were doing a prequel, either John David Washington, Michael B. Jordan, or de-aging technology.
See, don't de-age. No. The technology's getting better, but I don't think.
If Denzel wants to do part 4, he'll do part 4.
You could do part 4 because, like, how it ends up is he's going to stay. It looks like he's going to stay in Italy and he's enjoying his life, and nobody's going to fuck with him.
They should do a Magnificent Seven with all the old guys, like Arnold, Stallone, Van Damme, fucking, and then you got Denzel in there, and you got Keanu.
That'd be amazing.
And Cruz.
You know who else is still around? What's his name? Kurt Russell still is doing movies.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's still around.
But then wouldn't that just be the Expendables?
That's
called the Expendables 4 with Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais. Throw them in there. They're all in this.
No, but that's like, those are, I'm talking about the creme de la creme.
Yeah, the Expendables are kind of campy at this point.
I wouldn't mind a prequel.
Are we going to see that now? Are we have to see that?
Oh, you're asking if we should review that?
What, the Expendables 4?
It's going to be terrible.
I think I got to draw the line.
50 Cent is in it. Like,
There's
that's
a-
what
and
you,
the-
that's
you
when
know
you
what? The
stop.
fact that Iko and Tony Jaa are in it, for a hot second, I was like, I kind of want to see what these guys are doing right now. But I think we got to draw the line at the Expendables. I don't know. I don't know. I had to
If the reviews are great,
say.
yeah, if the reviews are
But
like half decent, I
I'll have
might
to go back and watch the first fucking 3 also, which I don't know.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I've only seen part 2.
Okay. The trailer
And it
for
was
that
completely
one
fine.
is, I saw it again and I was like, I want to see Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais fucking, they're probably in it for like 2 seconds.
You know what's great about this movie is it captures you. It immerses you in the movie. It's very well shot, and there's not a lot going on.
Yeah.
But for whatever it was, an hour and 40 minutes of my life,
Yeah.
I forgot about everything. I was just
know.
watching this fucking movie, and it was great.
That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to
Yeah.
escape.
Yeah.
It's a good runtime, and the violence when it hits.
It's fucking violent.
Do we think? I feel like Anton Fuqua is kind of underrated director. Like he's good. He did a good job.
Is he? I mean, he did Training Day. He won an Oscar.
Yeah, he got Denzel his second Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, he's one of the. I guess he did. You know what? He directed The Magnificent Seven.
He did Bullet Train. That wasn't bad.
No, he didn't direct Bullet Train.
Oh, he produced it. No, wait.
Yeah.
Did he direct it? Sorry.
No,
he didn't direct.
I mean, you know what? He's done Olympus Has Fallen. You know, I mean, he's probably one of the better action directors out there.
Right.
You're right. No one really talks about
Nobody
him.
really talks about it. He's not a bad action director coming from music videos like a lot of these guys, but putting in some good.
He did. Oh wow,
Southpaw.
He did The Replacement Killers.
Oh, he did. Oh, he did The Replacement Killers. See, we forget about Anton Fuqua.
What do you think of Anton Fuqua, Rux?
I feel like he's in the upper echelon. I wouldn't put him up with like, the greats, but like he's definitely solid, and he does like this movie is for me. Training Day is like probably his best movie, but I think this is his best Equalizer movie.
Oh wow!
Because it feels like a classic revenge movie from like the 70s.
Charles Bronson Death Wish style.
Yeah, and the other ones seem like it just for some reason works for me a lot.
It's different than the first two for sure.
Oh yeah, different feel.
Yeah, and I
because
like
you know what? It's like okay, so this guy clearly doesn't belong in this place.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like helping him out. They don't know what to think of him. Like he already starts out in this like weird manner where they find this dude with a gunshot.
Right. And yeah.
So everybody's kind of like looking to see what he's up to. And then like he just goes and drinks tea.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, all right, he's all right.
Hey.
You know, let's start selling him some hats, you know? And you kind of like, oh, this guy's a nice guy. And then all of a sudden he's got to fucking fuck some shit up. But
then the town backs him up, you know, and they support him and they celebrate this fucking over the top.
The old lady hands him a lemon.
Yeah. He's in
for his tea.
He's in.
And that's it. He's been accepted.
Yeah. And
They do the Spider-Man New York thing.
they do the Spider-Man New York thing. You got if you go to shoot him, you got to shoot me first.
Yeah.
They did that in the Ninja Turtles movie too.
Oh, they did. That's right. It's a great fucking trope. Only thing and I love when that moment when the guys start seeing he's being recorded, the bad guys leave, and he's like, "This isn't over," and he's like, "Oh, sooner than you think, I'm gonna see you." And while they're taking the night to plan to come back the next day and kill everybody, he just fucking sneaks in and slaughters them all. It's so good.
Yeah, they're like, well, tomorrow we're gonna lay waste to that place.
I'm gonna be over tonight.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
He shows up that night.
I mean, it was a little
While you're
like
getting
it
arrested.
made it a little anticlimactic because then there was like a little whole wrap up after that with the money and Dakota Fanning's character, and then but I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it overall.
Yeah.
Okay. Final thoughts. Wrap it up. Anthony, rate it, rank it. What are you gonna do?
You know, I initially came into this review with you guys with a lower rating. But you guys, I think, in talking about it, I really like this movie.
Yeah.
I liked him even more talking about it. I like the first Equalizer a little better.
Yeah.
Only because I like the Home Alone shit at the end.
Oh, you do like the Home Alone shit.
I think this is the second best. I think the second one is the least favorite for me. But shit, you know, that being said, some of the drawbacks, I think overall, I think it's a really solid film. I think some of the drawbacks I mentioned earlier still stand. Maybe could use one more action scene.
Yeah.
There's really only one action scene in the beginning. The rest of the movie is just like him brutally killing people, but they're not like
it's so quick,
big action set. Yeah, it's just like quick shit.
Yeah.
Not that it's not fun, but I just would have liked to see maybe one more at the end when he's annihilating people, maybe like a little fighter action or something like that. Or maybe an explosion. But that being said, that and then just kind of his invulnerability. I'd like, by this point, I think we've seen 3 movies of him being the Terminator.
Yeah.
I'd like to see something challenge him.
Yeah.
But those are minor gripes. 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Oh shit.
Whoa, 8. Wow.
When I walked out of the theater, I went 6.
Yeah.
Then I thought about it more. I went 7. And then while you guys were talking, I went 7.5. And then by the time I started talking at the end, I went to 8. So it's gone up since I saw it.
I like this. It's almost tied with the first movie. I was also going to give it an 8. The second movie has a lot of action, but I don't know. And it's personal. And there's the whole thing on top with Pedro Pascal, that shootout at the end. But I really like
it. Is kind of fun that they're fighting in the middle of like a hurricane.
Yeah, that's great. Like it's fucking wild. And he gouges his eyes out just like in Game of Thrones. It's fucking great. But no, I loved hanging out with Denzel in Italy. I wanted to go there. I love the setting. I'll give it an 8. It's tied with the first, maybe just under. The first one's great though. Ruggs, what about you?
So when he gets shot in the back and he looks around, he puts the gun to his head.
Oh, that was a great moment. He almost killed himself
for a hot second.
Oh, it was amazing.
That is.
And then I was like, whoa, this is how his movie's gonna start.
Yeah.
Like, where are we going with this? And then he's sleeping and he's thinking about all the people he killed when he's sleeping. Yeah. And you could tell that he's tortured a little bit, or maybe he's getting off on, I can't tell, but it was compelling. Yeah. And then he gets to the city in Italy and, you know, the setting is great. He's speaking Italian.
Oh, yeah.
Never thought I'd see that.
He knows Italian.
And the fact that he fell in love with the place and he would, and it humanized him a little bit. Yeah. He's like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like,
that's a good.
So all these little things. It's not the action that I like about this movie because the action's not really what it's about. It's about him, his character, and kind of like you see this like almost demonic being, humanized in a way. And I'm like, when you have something that's that kind of ominous, and then you have to something more ominous, and they do pull off to somebody even more ominous. There's a whole organization that's more ominous, and he's got to do something. And I like the way that they handled it, like, because he is 68 years old, and they did it in the best way possible for that to come off. You know, Denzel's also not like a martial artist.
Right.
He's not like one of these guys that is training on this whole. So they use that. They make you believe that he is badass.
Yeah.
All right. So there's movies where they try and make you believe all kinds of people are bad. Like when Angelina Jolie sometimes is doing things and you're like, I don't know. But like you believe that Denzel could kick ass.
Absolutely.
And so I guess Anton Fuqua and Denzel worked on this, and they fine-tuned it over time. Because I even though I liked the first one, that Home Alone scene I felt like was not as effective as this, like him going through and just systematically fucking murdering people. So yeah, I did like it. So I'm gonna also give it an 8. And because it's a small movie. It's $70 million, and it entertains me pretty good.
Yeah.
It captivated me the time I was there. There is plot armor writing here. It has to be said. He does not get challenged. Dakota Fanning is not doing her best, but I think that in spite of all that, still got its hooks in me. So
yeah, no,
I love that you brought up. I forgot about that. That the line that is like the running theme throughout the movie is like where I am where I'm supposed to be.
Yes.
And it comes up over and over and over.
Enzo, the
bad
doctor
guys and
says
the
it
good
to him.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely entertaining, right?
It's like he's like their savior.
Yeah. But he's also
and he wasn't supposed to even be there.
I know. And I love this character. Like I wanted Robert McCall to finally find a place he could settle down, get some peace. Definitely entertaining the whole time.
You know what else is good? Sorry to interrupt. When he's in the restaurant and he's making the threat to the guy about like this being his home, and he's really starting to like this place and he better stop. Like you can see the way he says it, like he says it badass, but he also is like saying it with like he's so angry that he's gonna cry.
Yeah.
Kind of type of thing.
Yeah, because
he's just so good at like the those little things where it's just like he like, or when he's confronted in the courtyard, he's like, I'll see you soon, and he's like tearing up.
Yeah.
He's like emotional about this.
Because
like Denzel's so good at like you mentioned earlier, Stallone would never fucking look like he's about to cry when he's like getting angry. But like Denzel pulls that off, and it's like that's normal human behavior. Like if you're so mad sometimes that like you're gonna tear up, like that's normal. And it just shows like the passion that he has for this place.
And I felt like
how much at home he feels.
Like Robert McCall in those moments, he knows what he
McCall.
He knows what he has to do, and he really doesn't want to do it. He's trying to stop murdering people, but people don't stop fucking.
I don't get that. I don't actually have that read.
Oh, you don't think so?
I think he likes murdering people.
Yeah, he does. You could.
I think he's passionate about the fact that these people he cares about, not that he doesn't want to do this.
He has to. I think that he's always going to struggle with that.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got a violent streak.
I mean, think about it like this, Imran, or for this character. This guy went to fucking Italy because he took a Lyft drive and found out this random dude was getting smuggled.
Yeah,
and lost his pension. Yeah. You think that guy doesn't like to kill? That guy fucking loves to kill.
No, and also the other side of that, I also feel there are times in his face where he's like, just give me a fucking reason. Just looking for a reason to go buck wild. I love it in the second movie, that line where he finally confronts Pedro Pascal and all his dudes are standing there, and he's just like, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to kill all of you one at a time. The only downside is I get to do it once. I only get to do it once. Like, it's so good. Like, he's so fucking threatening, and he warns you.
He has some good lines.
And he just always has the perfect thing to say in every moment. It's fantastic.
You know, we've gotten 3 Punisher movies and they've all missed the mark.
This is the Punisher fucking franchise.
This is the closest you're going to get.
Old man Punisher. Absolutely.
And like, that's the thing. Like when you watch the Punisher, you have all these people like being negative, like, oh, he's a homicidal maniac and blah, blah, blah. And how could you make that into a hero? I'm like, well, he's not a hero. He's an anti-hero. And you can't. Look at how this movie does it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the Equalizer movies are basically that.
I would recommend, like, and it's a great watch. Like, if you've never seen the first two, just fucking throw it on. I think you'll enjoy it, and then go out and see this movie. It's fucking.
There's
great
something
franchise.
visceral about seeing innocent people get brutally murdered and wanting to see those fucking people that murdered them get fucking brutally murdered.
Yes,
And
it's
this movie
satisfying.
always delivers that.
Very satisfying killing very bad guys.
Right.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, let's do some news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
I just got one thing from our buddy John Bellotti Jr., who was on the episode last week.
One thing only?
Just one thing, because we got a lot of what are we watching we need to get to. But this one thing ties into kind of our ultimate last action tourney we had last week. Lots of fun. Check it out if you haven't listened. Bellotti posted this article about the fact that Rotten Tomatoes, for their 25th anniversary, sent out ballots to its certified critics, 10,000 ballots, asking them to pick their 5 favorite films of the past 25 years. The number one film is Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, shit.
Comes out number one out of all the things. Here's the top 10 I will give you. Starting at 10, The Social Network, The Matrix, Pan's Labyrinth, Spirited Away, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, The Dark Knight, Mulholland Drive, Parasite at number 2, Mad Max Fury Road number 1, even though it did. How far did it go in our bracket there, Anthony? Not far. It went like 1, 2.
It was in the final 4.
It made it to the top 4. Yeah, Ruggs is right.
Oh, it did make it to the final
21st
4.
century
Okay.
tournament, and made it to our big overall action tourney. The
Yeah.
last action one. So yeah, it did really well.
Yeah, so I mean, when we were doing the tourney, we were all picking from winners already.
Right,
So they were all winners. All those movies were like, as I said, we're splitting pubic hairs. It was like you really had to look for like some kind of delineation to pick one over the other. And The Matrix is also named in this top 10 list here.
Number 9.
So The Matrix is the movie that beat it, I believe, right?
It did in the
Matrix.
last action tourney, The Matrix.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That comes in at number 9.
And look, you can argue that Mad Max Fury Road is a better movie. I think the reason why John sent this is because he's a little mad about that.
No, he posted this before. I meant to mention it last week.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
Before we did
Oh, I
our
didn't know
tournament,
that.
he posted this
Okay,
article.
I stand corrected. But look, Fury Road's a fucking amazing
It is
movie. There's no doubt about it.
Wild.
But I feel like Matrix has more of a cultural impact because Mad Max is a movie that is made after like 20 years of Mad Max like not being a thing and kind of a reboot. The Matrix was 3 movies, an animated series, a video game, and a philosophical thing that started this whole thing. Are we in a simulation? Like Mad Max didn't do any of that. So it does get an edge for me from that. But like, if you're just going on the movie, yes, Mad Max is a better film. So,
I mean, there's a bunch of great movies. Rounding out the top 25 from 11 up, you have No Country for Old Men, There Will Be Blood, Get Out, Moonlight, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Magnolia, Whiplash, Inside Llewyn Davis, The Fellowship of the Ring, Zodiac, Inglourious Bastards, The Tree of Life, Paddington 2, Black Panther, and Arrival. Those are all great movies.
The Tree of Life.
I've heard so many.
That's Terrence Malick?
Yes, that is Terrence Malick.
Oh, that's a boring ass movie.
Yeah, I've not seen that
All
one.
well,
Paddington 2, everyone says is amazing and shows up on
I'll
here.
go on. Paddington 2 is very good.
I might have to watch that.
Damn it.
Have you seen all these movies?
I think I have.
I have not seen Inside Llewyn Davis, which is a Coen Brothers movie.
That's another boring movie.
I've never seen Moonlight.
I've never seen that. That's the only movie I haven't seen.
Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I'm not familiar with that one.
That's another boring movie.
Okay. These are all boring movies.
I haven't seen it, but that sounds like I've seen previews for it. That's a boring movie. That's a very artsy, dramatic film.
You got some David Lynch on here. You got some PTA.
I mean, these are This list makes. I mean, if you're asking 25, if you're asking critics, this list makes kind
So
of.
I'm not going to shit on. They're good. All good movies.
They're all good.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish
This
up
is boring.
with some of them are a little boring. Like Magnolia. Not everybody thinks it's a
It's a boring ass
kinda
movie,
boring.
but
It is a fucking boring movie.
You gotta respect
Magnolia, I
3 hours.
did not understand Magnolia.
Long movie. Everything Everywhere All at
Fucking
Once.
long ass
It's a great
movie,
movie
too.
Well, let's finish up with what are we watching here, Anthony? You watched anything?
No, I haven't watched any Ahsoka. I gotta.
Oh, you haven't
I guess
caught
I'm
up
gonna
on
have
the
to catch up at some point on that. Fuck.
Shoe videos? How are the shoe
lots
videos?
of shoe sneaker videos.
A lot of sneaker videos. Okay. Good.
Lots of people buying shoes and then buying fake shoes and all this weird shit. Well, the only other thing I've watched was what's it call it? Equalizer 2. That's what I watched.
Oh, the
prior.
second Equalizer. Yeah.
Second Equalizer, and I liked it.
Yeah, that one's good.
So that's about it.
All right.
I gotta. One thing to say is Equalizer 3 continues the string of good movies
Right?
I've seen in theater this summer.
Yeah, that's kind of
into the
crazy.
fall.
Surprisingly, right?
Surprisingly.
And not well, it's a sequel, but not like a big comic book movie. But yeah.
Yeah, ever since
When did it
the
start?
Flash.
Yes.
It's ever since Barbenheimer.
Yes.
No, excuse me, Mission Impossible.
Yes. That was
been a
Big
good run.
budgets don't mean better movies. That's all we know.
Been a fun. I'll just list it real quick: Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Oppenheimer, Barbie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Blue Beetle, now Equalizer 3. I'd say we're all worthy movies.
Those are all decent, fun movies. That's a good point. And then I think if we do The Creator, which will be next, like I think that's going to be
fun.
another one.
Or we could try to really test it with the Expendables 4.
Oh God, there is that also.
No, that's not going to cut the
That's
buzz.
not going to make the
No? All right.
Okay. Anyways,
Never mind.
moving on. Rugs,
All right, go ahead.
what'd you watch?
Well, you talked about you were watching One Piece.
Correct.
And that you finished it.
Yes.
And I was like an episode or two into it when you were talking about it, or I watched a little bit of it when you were talking about it. But I watched that fucking thing.
Okay, hold on.
And spoiler alert.
Let's talk about One Piece. What were you going to say?
I thought it was probably the best adaptation of an anime that to live action that Netflix has done.
Yeah.
They've tried and failed so many times, and it captures the anime very well. And it is a escapism. Like I was talking about, I need escapism.
There's absolutely an escape into this world.
And it's like a world that makes no sense.
Right, yep.
It's completely bonkers.
But it's consistent. You buy it.
But the characters are there and you have no idea what's going on, but like it still for some reason works.
Yeah.
And
I really liked it.
I thought it was pretty good. It's very cheesy.
Yeah.
In its ways. It's hokey, and there's a couple of stinker episodes, but overall I really liked it. I think that if I was like a 12-year-old kid or like an 11-year-old kid, this would totally be like a show I would watch.
It got a season 2 renewal, and I know the guy has plans for like 6 or 12 seasons. There's tons of story to go on.
Well, this is the thing that they did with this series that they didn't do with the other ones, is that they personally involved the guy who wrote the manga.
Yes, which makes a big
that
difference.
the cartoon is based on. Now, if you don't know what One Piece is, we're just saying One Piece.
It's a
what the fuck is that?
swimsuit. No? Oh.
One Piece is like a swimsuit that you wear. No, it's a long-running manga that became an anime, and now it's a long-running anime about a world of pirates. Yep. Basically, there is a land. It's a world that's mostly covered in oceans, little islands in between, and basically there's Marines and there's pirates, and they're kind of like the Marines are there to try and stop the pirates from doing whatever pirates do.
Pirates are well known and almost celebrities, but they're all wanted and
it's kind of steampunk.
Yeah.
There's like weird technology where people like talking to each other through snails and shit.
that was kind of cool. The slug communicators.
And like there are fruits that give you superpowers. And basically it's a story of this kid who, I guess he was an orphan that decided that he was just going to be a pirate.
The best pirate.
He was going to, not only that, but he was going to find the One Piece, which is the world's biggest treasure that everyone's been looking for.
He's going to be king of the pirates, which he says over and over again.
Yeah, he does say that at every episode.
I did enjoy the parts where, because like pirates are like evil, people fear them, and every time he's like, I'm a different kind of pirate. Like he's trying to be
Yeah.
like a good pirate. I had a great time with I thought the cast was good. The backstory of all these kids is great. This fucking Sanji story got me where he's stuck on that rock for 70 days.
Oh, that was great.
Holy shit. And that guy eats his own leg.
Oh my God. Yeah. That was great. But the weakest link is the main character.
Yeah, so explain the thing about him that you commented on.
He's a terrible actor.
His accent. What's up with this accent?
All right, so he's a kid and he has no accent, and all of a sudden he's a grown up and he has an accent.
It's like
Jean-Claude Van Damme in fucking Kickboxer.
So that's not. He wasn't doing that accent. That's how he talks.
That's it. He's got like an accent. That's his accent from wherever he is from, maybe France or something. But like, he's the weakest link in the show, and so. But the good news is the show. He doesn't really say much.
Right.
He just says he wants to be the king of the pirates.
He's made of rubber, and I love how they announce their battle moves, where he's just like gum pistol. It's so anime, right?
It's definitely anime.
Yeah.
But like, you know what? It works for a kid's show.
Yeah.
This is not like highbrow, like adult TV. This is like a 12-year-old kid show.
But it's a solid adventure that gets you hooked. And I was surprised that I was into pirates. Like, when was the last time pirates were a thing? Like Pirates of the Caribbean that got people in?
Yeah.
And
well, these are different kind of pirates.
it was kind of refreshing, this whole pirate world.
Yeah, I liked it. I think that if you're into escapism and you want to like get away for a while and hang out in this weird pirate world, I think you should definitely check it out.
Emily Rudd, who played Nami. She's very cute. She did a good job.
Yeah.
But
she's great.
Largely, and you know, the guy who plays Zorro is Sonny Chiba's grandson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's related to Sonny Chiba.
Oh, that's great.
So
he's playing a fucking great, the world's greatest swordsman, which was Sonny Chiba.
Yeah. What do you think of that? The sword fighting, like the action's not bad. There's a decent action.
I mean, like it's good. It's not great. It's not like mind blowing, but it's for a show like this. It's like it's pretty good. I mean, there's like Into the Badlands, which had a great sword fighting in it and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's a lot of shows that like can give it a run for its money as far as like wire work or whatever the fuck.
It's a little
they're
goofy,
doing
it's a little cartoony, but it's consistent in tone. I really enjoyed it. So we'll see if they I'm in for the second season.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I watched was Ultraman Blazar.
Blazar? Is this where he like smokes weed and gets stoned?
Yeah, he smokes weed.
Ultraman blazes up.
It's the newest Ultraman series. It's on YouTube. You can watch it in English dubbed if you don't want to read the subtitles, which I do a little bit of both depending on what I'm doing. If I'm drawing, I got the dubbed because I can't read while I'm drawing. So anyway, the thing that I was saying is Ultraman Blazar.
Is this live action?
Is live action, and it's it's kind of like Ultraman can be like a toy selling like phenomena. Like it's like, you know, when you watch like Power Rangers stuff, they're just trying to sell you another toy, and then they have like another thing that it does, and it's like, oh, you have to get that toy. And Ultraman was doing the same thing where like everything was like cards and this and that, and like you don't want that in the middle of the show. It pulls you right out of like whatever you're watching. And it was very kiddie, and there would be like a lot of like immature looking stuff. This one is like still like low budget, but they're doing it in a little bit more like almost like a One Piece, where it's like kind of like serious to a degree.
Oh,
and they introduce a robot which is kind of like a Mecha Godzilla called Earth Garen, and
Gary?
They pilot not Garrett Garon, which it means guardian, but like they pilot. So this whole it's basically set around this team that's supposed to pilot this Mecha Godzilla to fight kaiju, but every once in a while, Ultraman comes to fucking, you know, the Mecha Godzilla thing doesn't always work, or there's always some reason where I can't fucking do the job. So Ultraman's got to come in and fucking finish the guy off. But it's still pretty cool because the mechs in Ultraman are usually terrible, and this one's actually pretty badass. It looks like Mecha Godzilla Light. That's what it looks like. So yeah, I think if you want to watch Ultraman and you want to watch it in English, you can watch it on YouTube. And then of course I've watched Ahsoka.
You were caught up on Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Anthony, can we talk about Ahsoka for a second? I'm going to spoil.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
All right, so episode 4 and 5, you're going to have to catch up. Ruggs, what do you think about what they're doing on Ahsoka? Episode 5 was this huge episode. It was, in fact, screened in theaters. Spoilers, of course, you see the return of a young Hayden Christensen as Anakin.
We've seen this before in the cartoons.
So,
right?
Is this confusing to people? Because I know I had to look up. I know they put her in the world between worlds, but like I feel like when Anthony watches the end of 4 and she's in the place, could be like, "What the fuck is this place?"
No, I think that's the biggest problem with the series is that if you watched all the other stuff, you're gonna be fine. Like you're not gonna be surprised by anything. You're not gonna be like, "Oh, why is this happening? This happened before." So, they use that vehicle as a way to like basically finish Ahsoka's training, and so she could be a true Jedi Master, resolve all the issues with Anakin.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And there are people that don't like it, and I understand, and I could see that point of view, and I didn't hate it. I was just like, okay, well, they've done this shit in Clone Wars. I'm like, it is kind of like a cheat code. Yeah. But all right.
I mean, I love that, where they're doing the Clone Wars, they're doing the siege on Mandalore. You see him flash to Darth Vader here and there in the smoke. That shit was dope. Do you know the girl that played young Ahsoka is also the daughter in Barbie? She was in 65 with Adam Driver, and she played young Gamora in Infinity War.
Whoa.
She's got quite I thought she did good, and you see her going through her life, and yeah, her finishing her training, that was kind of cool.
And then she's reborn. She's like Ahsoka the White, like fucking
baptized.
Gandalf.
And there's some pretty cool lightsaber shit. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I was like, whoa, this is kind of crazy what they're doing.
Well, you could see that even her demeanor changes as she wakes up, and the nude scene was there. You notice the nude scene?
Nude scene. No.
Yeah, Ahsoka didn't have anything on her head.
Oh yeah, she didn't have the one thing.
You can finally
see the blending
she has
of the
gills on the side of her face.
Yeah, and you see the color blend, and then the whole thing with the Purgles and talking to them like Ezra did in the show, and she's inside the whale like Jonah or Pinocchio, and then she takes off after Sabine somewhere.
So I think that she's not going to train Sabine anymore. I feel like she's probably going to train Hera's kid because he's got the Force. He's very Force sensitive.
Yeah, his father was Jace. What's his name? Kanan from Rebels.
Yes. So,
well, here's what I didn't understand. They land on this planet. Hera, and first of all, she brings her kid on a dangerous space mission. I don't know why the kid's there. They land.
Take your kid to work.
But then they land on this planet. They have no idea if there's enemies, if it's hostile. And the kid's like, "Can I come out?" She's like, "Yeah, sure, I'm fine. I'm sure it's fine." He's sitting there. He senses she's out there. And then she's like, "Okay, we're going to go out there. You stay here." Well, first of all, you're going to leave the kid there alone. And if he senses her.
He's got a droid with him.
He's got a droid. But if he's the one sensing her, wouldn't you want to take him and be like, "All right, tell me where are you sensing her?"
Yeah, there's some weird shit going on.
Leave him on the planet for? I didn't get that shit.
But like, that's par for the course with Star Wars. Like, there's always
bad parenting.
In these, all of these fucking shows. Like, they defy like logic all the time. It just doesn't make any sense why they do a lot of things they do.
So we'll see what other big things are we going to get thrown. All right, so you're digging the show so far? I think did it get better in the last couple episodes?
Digging it? It's just like I'm watching it because it's Star Wars. Yeah. I'm not passionate about the show. Okay. I like Ahsoka, the character, but this is the most that they've done with her.
Yeah.
Because like she's just, as I said, for most of the whole entire show, she's just standing there emotionless with her arms crossed.
Yes.
And this is the first like glimmer of Ahsoka that you see is when she's being played by another actress. Yeah. And when she wakes up from being dead.
Yeah.
And like being reborn, I guess. So we'll see how it turns out. We'll see. Like, Ray Stevenson is fucking amazing.
He's great.
He's a bad guy. Yeah. He's very intimidating. Yeah. And
and the fact that remember we were like, who's Marok? Apparently he's nobody. It was no one.
He was well, you don't know because
what about Barack?
Barack.
He's we don't want to say it. But anyway, Marok ends up being a like a zombie.
Yeah, he's like he was keeping him alive.
Because the witches create those like
Night Sisters.
zombie warriors. Yeah, the Night Sisters create the zombie warriors.
But that part was cool,
So-
where it was like Ahsoka versus Ray Stevenson and Sabine versus Shin Hati. It was kind of fun. They had two battles.
Yeah,
going
that
on.
was a good
That was pretty
episode.
dope.
It was entertaining.
I thought 4 and 5 were pretty good. Okay, we'll see how it ends up. I want to mention two things I watched that are kind of interesting. The first one is I'm going to mention a show that we used to love, that we used to talk about all the time, that may have overstayed its welcome. Not uttered these words in many, many months. The Walking Dead. Holy shit.
Oh shit.
Oh, is it dead yet, or is it still living?
No, they got lots of sequels. The main show's over. They have all these spin-offs. There was a Negan and Maggie spin-off. I didn't watch that. But I heard this new one that just started 2 weeks ago. It's called Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. I heard that this was actually kind of good, so I checked it out.
Well, they're advertising the shit out of it.
They are.
Wasn't aware of the Negan.
Yeah,
anything.
that one, and that one's in New York. This one, the first 2 episodes have aired. It's not bad.
He's globetrotting, isn't
Here's
he?
the premise, okay? I don't know how the Walking Dead show ended because I watched like 9.5 seasons and then bailed. And I think it finished at like 11 seasons. But I guess at the end of that show, he gets on a boat and goes on the ocean, like a big steamer to find someone, and shit goes bad and he escapes. So the first episode, I'm going to spoil a little bit of this. The first episode starts with him floating in the ocean on top of an overturned little dinghy. He ends up washing up in the south of France. This whole show takes place in France. He gets up, he gets some things, he meets some people, he gets attacked, he gets knocked out. He gets found by a nun who takes him to this convent. And so now he's in this convent in France. And in this convent is this teenage boy named Laurent. He's like 15. The boy apparently is the Messiah, the prophecy. The nuns want Daryl to take this boy up north to the top of France because he can possibly stop this zombie outbreak. What does any of this sound like to you?
Like every other show?
It is The Last of Us. They're essentially doing The Last of Us with Daryl, and he's got to save this boy. His origin is exactly the same, and they reveal like while he was in the womb being born, his mother had been bit, and then she turns
He's a daywalker.
and then he gets born. But I'll tell you what, this new setting, learning about what happened in France. There's some flashback about the day things went bad in Paris. Kind of makes it refreshing. The zombies are a little bit different. They're a little bit faster.
They're French zombies.
They're French zombies. They're
very rude.
Their fluids burn. They have like acid for blood.
Oh.
So they're very rude and they smell like blue cheese.
They don't retreat all the time in war.
They don't. Yeah, you just have to go boo.
They
and
don't
run
need
away.
retreat.
Yeah.
You mean they don't need saving all the time? These aren't French. What are you talking about?
They still got to pay for toilets wherever they go in France. That didn't change. No, but I was like, and Norman Reedus is great as this character. So I'd like the first 2 episodes. It's not bad. I was like, I can't believe I'm watching a Walking Dead thing. And
what made you watch that?
I heard this one podcast I listened to, TV's Top 5 from the Hollywood Reporter. The one reviewer on there, critic, was like, there's this Walking Dead show, and I can tell you, it's actually kind of like has come with a spark from the beginning of the first season. And I was like, oh, I got to check this out. And it's not bad. He finds other groups of people. He's got assault. There's somebody following him. He's got to make it up north. So it's essentially their version of The Last of Us. What they're doing, which it's not a horrible thing, but
well, you know, Walking Dead is probably what influenced The Last of Us, and now it's coming full circle.
So I don't know. It's on AMC on
Man,
Sundays.
you got to find a hobby and run. Jesus.
And then the other thing I want to mention is that show Winning Time on HBO about the Lakers in the early 80s. The second season just finished, had the season finale. It ends in the playoffs of 1984. Anthony, do you know off the top of the head what happens in 1984 playoffs between the Lakers and the Celtics?
Don't they win, right?
They do not.
Oh,
it actually ends with the Celtics winning, but it's the first time they met in the playoffs, and they had been building up for 2 seasons for this big thing. And then
the Birdman, right?
Yes, Larry Bird's in there. But the hilarious thing is this final season airs, and HBO announces that they have canceled the show.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Zaslav is just like, fuck you.
It ends with them losing it to the Celtics in the playoffs, and then they wrap it up. But I fucking love both seasons of the show. This is a fantastic show. The fact that they found dudes that are good actors, kind of look like Magic and Kareem and Larry Bird, and can play basketball and at the same height, and the whole team, like amazing casting. John C. Reilly is actually really good in this. It's just a very entertaining show. You learn a lot about really like Jerry Buss and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird like saved the NBA in the beginning of the 80s by making it huge again and giving people a fucking show. And it's a little embellished, I'm sure, exaggerated. I don't know how much of it is true, but the story is so fucking good. It's such a good show. I'm surprised, Anthony, you're not watching this. It's sports. It's a jock show. You don't care about
I generally don't actually give a shit about sports TV or sports fiction.
But this, like, even if you don't like sports, like anybody can watch this. The drama and the way it's written and style it's told in is so good.
I've heard good things, especially from you. So I'm surprised you watch it.
You know what? I don't know why I did, but the first episode totally hooked me. And there's a lot of like a lot of it looks like it's shot on VHS tape from the time. It's great, the graininess they use, the way they make it look, and it's just nostalgic and a great story about.
I've heard many people talk highly of this show.
Crazy fucking story. Like Kareem's house burned down. I didn't even know that. Like during the fucking end of the playoffs or during the playoffs. Magic blows his knee out and like all this crazy shit happens. It's a great story. So anyways, that's it for this week. Out this week though, we probably can review this next week. The Continental on the Cock premiering this Friday.
Oh yeah,
September 22, the John Wick.
Finally,
how many
episodes?
Sequel. It's a 3-part event, so I don't know if they're going to put out all 3 at once or it's like one a week for 3 weeks. It's only 3 episodes. I don't know.
I haven't fired the cock up in a while.
Something on the Cock to watch, but perhaps we should investigate and give you our
I'll
thoughts.
watch it.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Review it. I don't know. There's nothing else out. Come on, until the creator.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind watching it. It's limited, or it's a weekly release.
Okay, so it's just going to be like probably 3 week long. I hope they're longer episodes too. Maybe they make them like a movie length episode.
Is that what we're doing? The Cock?
I don't know. Sure.
Okay.
Or yeah, why not? There you go, listener.
Or do you want to? Well, yeah. All right, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. That's it for this week, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on X at Really Your Rug Boy for now.
Yeah, I read somewhere just recently Elon Musk is considering putting the whole thing behind a subscription. If he does that, I'm a fucking paying for it. I think he's going to lose everybody.
Yeah.
Would you fucking pay for Twitter? No. So that's a bad idea. He's already like killed this platform and it's down, losing money. Lots of people left.
I'm glad it's going away.
This may be, if he does that, it's the death and I wouldn't be like, whatever, go away. It would be fine. Twitter can go away. But I thought that was interesting. Anyways.
It's done nothing but harm the world.
In the meantime, you can follow us there at Jock and Nerdcast. And check out our episode description for links to everything. Most importantly, share the show, spread it around. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time. Oh, I didn't get to play this.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
I like turtles.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.